day and are ready for the long weekend, which will be coming up tomorrow. If it's the first time joining us tonight, I welcome you very much. Grab yourself a pen and paper or an iPad to take notes. Tonight we will be going over the disability services, who they are and how they can help you as a business to employ someone with disability and impairment. First up, we will go through an acknowledgement of country. 30-foot drop acknowledges the traditional owners of land throughout the country of Australia and recognises their continuing connection to waters, land and the community. We pay our respects to the Indigenous people, their cultures and beliefs, and to both the elders past and present. 30-foot drop funding. 30-foot drop would like to acknowledge the Department of Communities Disability Services for funding this and many other initiatives. Without their help, so many projects such as Two Wise Monkeys wouldn't see the light of day, and we'd be much more poorer as a community. So we thank them very much for this funding. This workshop is part of the realities and advantages of an Access and Inclusion grant awarded to 30-foot drop as part of an Information, Linkages and Capacity Building grant for 2018 and 2019. Let's now get into some housekeeping on how our webinars are run and how you can communicate with us along the way. Unfortunately, we do not have all the resources to live every single platform. So if you are watching from YouTube tonight or Facebook and you are wanting to send me a message, you will have to jump into the link which is below this video, www.30footdrop.com.au/live. Jump in there and you can hit the live button and chat with me along the way. And I will do my best to answer any questions that you have. We cover quite a lot of information in a short period of time, so we ask attendees to try and minimise any distractions. I know that this is hard in the current time with working from home and having a few more distractions around, but just to let you know, there's quite a lot of information that you will be taking in tonight. Please make sure that if you talk about 30-foot drop to tag us in anything that you share. We'd love to be involved, and the more people we can get to learn about disability and impairment and educate them, the better the community is going to be. And if you know anyone that may be interested in these webinars, please send them along. There's 6 parts to these. We're on part 2 tonight, and then next Tuesday we will be starting at part 3, 4, 5, Wednesday, Thursday, 4, 5, and then back 6 and then 1 again. So jump on our website and check out what's available and register. So we record every session. Every session is live in order so that people can communicate with us. So it's all live, so any questions come straight to me and we talk about them straight away. And then it gets posted to all of the platforms. All the research we talk about on all the webinars, all the backup information for this is all available in our resource library on our website. So if there's anything you wanted to look further into that we've spoken about, it's all available on our website. And there's other various resources like the missing out report, stats, lots and lots of stuff that you can have a look at and go through. Some very, very interesting reads there. At the end of the webinar, we do have a short survey that we would really love if you guys could fill that out. It's only a few questions. Once again, you just need to follow the link below this video. Type in, go into the live box and then look for tapping in part 2. And there's 5 questions to answer. It'd be great if you could do that before you go. Okay, now let me introduce myself. I'm Lisa and I am one of the 2 Wise Monkeys. I am Hear No Evil. The other monkey is See No Evil, and that is Ben. He is the founder of the 2 Wise Monkeys and the 30-foot drop workshops. He had an accident at the age of 22 which put him in a wheelchair, and before his accident, obviously he knew what it was like to be an able body, and then he learnt what it was like to live with a disability and realised that really people just don't know enough about it. People aren't educated. So that is why he has founded 30-Foot Drop and the Two Wise Monkeys, to make people aware of the barriers that they face, people with disability and impairment, and to help people try and make changes for a better future for these people. Now, myself, I am Hear No Evil. So just by looking at me, you probably can't tell what I may suffer from. 30-something years ago, I was born 10 weeks premature, and being a premature baby, complications can come about later in life, or you can find out about them later in life. At the age of 8, I was diagnosed with mild dyslexia. Teachers used to hit me on the head, yell at me, read out my low marks in front of my classmates, and make me feel completely dumb, as it would. And for a girl, it was really hard to understand, because, like I said, it's not as common for a girl to have it. I'm not sure why. But, you know, it took a while before teachers and maybe my family figured out what was going on, and I was tested and all of that. And, you know, people with dyslexia quite often have a high intelligence, so that kind of makes it hard as well with the testing and to figure out what's going on. But, you know, despite those challenges growing up, I didn't let it stop me, and I was determined to prove these teachers wrong. At the age of 13, I realised that I was actually okay at something. I was good at art and photography. I passed all of my school cert certificates, so that's passing all of my grades at school, and I ended up doing really well at school. But that was with a lot of hard work and dedication. But my passion was being creative. So with my art and photography, I studied a Diploma of Arts. I've got a picture framing diploma where I work with museum grade artwork. I've managed galleries all around the world, done picture framing all around the world, and really, really enjoyed it. I also have a counselling diploma, which is what leads me to being with the Two Wise Monkeys. If I can help people to feel better about themselves and be honest and open about how they feel, and get these changes made, then half my job is done. So I would love, love, love to help people out there. And if this is going to help you today, then I'm happy. So now, when we look at the monkeys, normally we've got see no evil, hear no evil. Where is speak no evil? Who is speak no evil? You guys can ask yourself that. Who is speak no evil? Today it's you. So the aim of today's workshop is to turn you into that wise monkey. You'll begin on a journey of realizing, impairment or not, we are all human and deserve to be treated respectfully and equally in the same way as every other human being. So you guys can turn into that wise monkey today, speak no evil, and I hope that after today you will have a different approach to people with disability and impairment. And if you really wanted to become that third wise monkey, we do have behind me these amazing t-shirts that are now for sale on our website. They come in black and white, and they range from kids size 5 to 5XL adult size. So please, if you'd like one of those, head over to our website and shop. Okay, now outline a method of today's webinar. So how are we going to get you started on the path of a wise monkey? Well, there's a lot to learn about people with impairment and how to employ these amazing people into your business. First up, we're going to look at disability employment services, what they are and how they can help your business. After that, we will go through 5 tips on how you can prepare your business to employ someone with a disability or impairment. To finish up, we will do an open forum where we can ask questions, have question time, but feel free along the way to ask anything that you like. Nothing's off limits for us. We're happy to answer anything that we can. Now, what is our teaching method be? What is our teaching method? The answer is fun, open and honest discussion. If we can't be open and honest about disability and impairment and what affects us personally, someone having an impairment or a disability, then changes aren't going to be made. If we hold it inside and we get upset and we get mad about it, then changes aren't going to be made. You can't move on. We can't change things. So let's all be open and honest about disability and impairment, and let's make other people aware of what our needs are. You'll notice that there's very little written content on the slides, and that's to make it easy for us all to interact with each other. There's not heaps of wording where you're trying to keep up with all the wording and then you're missing it. Or if you have a vision or hearing impairment, it also makes it easy for you to follow. Another thing, if you do have a hearing impairment and you're finding it hard hearing me, you can jump over to Facebook, and they now have subtitles. So jump over to our 30-foot drop Facebook page and you'll be able to watch this live and turn the sound down and you will have subtitles. So that's an amazing thing that Facebook have done. It's only been around the last couple of weeks as far as I know, but amazing. Let's hope other platforms start following. Okay, now I'm going to go over some terminology where people get these words mixed up and think that they're very similar or the same thing, but I'm going to discuss each one and how they are quite different. First, I'm going to talk about impairment. An impairment is an injury, illness, or congenital condition that causes or is likely to cause a loss or difference of physiological or psychological function. In short, your impairment is your medical diagnosis. So my impairment is that I have mild dyslexia. A disability, on the other hand, is the loss or limitation of opportunities to take part in society on an equal level with others due to social and environmental barriers. It is, as the word implies, something that makes you unable to access or participate in something. An example for someone with a learning disability would be too much wording, complex information. Stylized script sometimes can make it hard for people with dyslexia to understand, which means that they are not getting the right information that they need to use your business if it's too complicated or it's too much wording. This is especially important information to know because some people's impairments are hidden and you're potentially missing out on their business because your website or your marketing is too complicated. So something for you guys that own businesses watching, something for you to think about and maybe have a look through on your website. Is it easy to follow? Is it straightforward enough that any human being can follow it easily? Okay, the next two words we're going to discuss are access and inclusion. Let's first go over access. Access refers to the removal or reduction of physical barriers to participate in activities and functions of a community. At its core, access focuses a lot on the physical world around us and can be assessed with a checklist. So we do have a checklist which is available on our website under resources where you can go around your business and make sure that your business is accessible. Are your door frames wide enough for someone in a wheelchair? Are the door handles at a height that everyone can reach it? Someone with short stature, someone in a wheelchair, someone with limited mobility, can they open these doors? And quite often, a lot of people don't realise, but round door handles are not always easy for everyone to open. So there's little things like this that you can change. People with limited mobility or it's painful to do that, can't open the round door handles. So lever door handles suit everyone. And that's something else we go into in another part of our webinar. But it's just an interesting thing that businesses should also know, and that may be in the access list anyway. Now let's go over inclusion. Inclusion is more of a psychological state of being and is the process hereby every person, irrespective of their age, disability, gender, religion, sexual preference or nationality who wishes to, can participate fully in all aspects of an activity or service in the same way as every other member in the community. Inclusion is making sure that every single human is welcome into your business. Every single human is included in your business, no matter how they appear, what their sexual preferences, what their nationality. They are allowed and they should be made to feel included in your business. If people are not made to feel like they are included or discriminated against, then they're not going to return. And as you will see in webinar part 3, I think, we go over the stats, and it's a very, very high chance that if you've discriminated against someone with a disability, they're going to go and tell lots of people and dissuade people from using your business. So it's very important to make sure that everyone is included in your business and welcome. So I hope those terms make sense to everyone. If you do have any questions, please jump onto the link below and ask me a question. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of today's subjects, which is the disability employment services. What are they, and the funding which is involved. Okay, what are they? Disability employment services help people with a disability or impairment find work and keep a job. Amazing. Providers of disability employment services are called DES providers for short. Through DES providers, people with a disability, injury or health condition may be able to receive assistance to prepare for, find and keep a job. How awesome is this, and who here didn't even know about the disability employment services? Wow, it's an amazing thing to learn about, and I didn't know about it before I started working with Ben, and I just think it's awesome that they have an advocate out there to help them find and keep a job. DES providers are a mix of large, medium and small for-profit and non-profit organisations that are experienced in supporting people with disability and impairment, as well as aiding employers to put in place practices that support the employee in the workplace. So if you are having trouble finding work, please contact your local DES provider or have a look on our website for more information, which is under resources. Okay, now let's talk about the funding. How are DES providers funded? They are funded by the government, which is awesome. Providers receive payments for helping participants to find and maintain work. Payments are structured so that providers earn more funding when they place more people into long-lasting employment. So it's they're not just going to put anyone in your business. They need to make it work or they don't get paid. So you're definitely going to get someone that is wanting to be there and wanting to work. So this acts as a great incentive to the businesses to go ahead and then employ someone from the DES providers. Okay, next we are going to look at services, which are job matching, role creation and support. Let's first go over job matching. How and what? How do DES providers make sure they find the right match? It's all about understanding both parties, the candidate and the business, and finding the link between the two. DES providers will help and find the job seeker's career history and aspirations, and understand their barriers and work with those. They will work it out with the employee by exploring their capabilities and qualities. They will also help the candidate get as job ready as they can be through work experience, training and volunteering, which is awesome. Now the business, how do they help the business or the employer? The DES providers will help the employee and the employer with the following. Understand the new employer's needs for the business and the job position. Describe and discuss the dynamics and then create a suitable role that will suit both parties' needs. Once your employer and the employee fully understand, they then match them. So, where do the clients come from? How do they find out about the DES providers? DES candidates are not forced into employment. So in saying this, you haven't got someone that doesn't want to be there. They're already actively looking for a job through their local DES provider. through a number of ways, which are word of mouth, self-referral following a discussion with a team member or friend or family member, self-referral after exposure to advertising on social media, referral from a health professional, community agency or school, referral from Centrelink or government agency, self-determining move from another provider, community talks, community help desks and pop-up shops, discussions with health and community agencies, employment forums and expos, and also the Two Wise Monkeys workshops. So there are many, many ways that they can find out how to get in touch with the DES provider. And they come to, I've already done that bit, role creation and job carving. Now, this is all about aiming to improve businesses' efficiency, and who here does not want to improve their efficiency? Everyone wants to improve their business efficiency, and this is a great way to do it. Okay, so it's about finding tasks that can be done by less qualified people and which are cheaper, and allowing the more qualified to carry on with the work and be productive. Now let's have a look at how this works. So job carving and role creation. Let's have an example. Okay, so there are 4 mechanics employed at a workshop. They spend the last 30 minutes of each day cleaning up the workshop. During this time, they are not creating profit for the business and costing the business 2 hours full mechanic wages. Employing someone to come in for 2 hours a day at the end of the day on a lower rate will allow these mechanics to continue generating profit for your business. And also you are going to be making someone very happy by giving them a job for 2 hours a day to come in and do the cleaning. And how amazing would it feel for you as a business owner to offer that opportunity to someone that is really, really wanting that job? I noticed the other day in the Good Guys that they had a guy in a mobility scooter, and he was working there and he was helping customers and going around the shop on his mobility scooter, and it was just awesome to see that a business was being inclusive by employing this person. And I really hope that more businesses start doing the same and it just becomes the norm. So I'm hoping I'm making sense so far. If you do have any questions, please jump into the link below. Let me just check and make sure there's no questions. No questions, that's fine. Okay, let's now go into support. How do the DES providers support you and the employee? If I could find my mouse, there it is. Okay, support. As well as job matching and role creation, DES providers also offer the following free services. These are candidate support and application assistance. Let's firstly look at candidate support. DES providers support their candidates in their role by regular on and off site visits, where they ensure the candidate continues understanding the employee's expectations and needs. They also look for any requirements for assistive technology for both parties. They monitor developing requirements to maintain performance and deal with any questions or issues swiftly. They don't want this to go wrong. Most DES providers will be contactable outside of business hours. So if you as the employee are finding that you've come up against a bit of a barrier, or you're needing some help with some kind of assistance or technologies, then ring up the DES provider. There will be a person allocated to your employee, which will be there for you and your employee. You can ring them up and ask them anything you like. So that's amazing because it's all free. Application support is next. Let's have a look at this one. So DES providers will provide free assistance with the following applications. Another amazing thing: wage subsidies, and workplace modifications, which are available through Job Access. We covered what Job Access can offer in tapping in part 1. So if you missed that, you can go back on either platform and find it, or you can register for the next one, which is in another week. Okay, so how to get started and start your application. Get in touch with your local DES provider, and if you need help looking for one of those, jump on our website. We've got some on there. Provide them with the required information and then match your candidate and enjoy your employee. The DES provider will gather the required information for starting and organising the employee. Fill out all the paperwork and any other requirements to proceed with the employment. And how stressful would it be to know that you are not having to fill out all the paperwork and organise it all? I know that for many business owners, that's the last thing you're wanting to do, is have to try and sort out extra paperwork. It's a stressful time at the moment for many reasons. But if you have someone like the DES provider there to do all the work for you, you literally just have to say yes or no to the person that you want, and they've got a job. So please give it some thought. It's not going to be hard. Okay, preparing your business. So now that you have committed to employing someone with a disability or impairment, what is next? Here are 5 tips to get you started and ensure your new employee reaches their full potential. Now, first up is candidate selection. Next is awareness training. Next is accessibility. And then next is induction and mentoring and post-placement. We're first going to talk about candidate selection. As with all hiring, it's important to get the right match. A person's disability may be quite irrelevant to the kind of work which is required, which means people with a disability are employed all across the board in many different things. Using a DES provider, though, will give you a far wider access to a far wider talent pool of people, making your selection a lot easier and stress-free. Okay, next we can talk about the disability awareness training. Many people are apprehensive when it comes to dealing with a new team member with a disability or impairment. Conducting targeted training for your staff can help with questions and increase the confidence of your staff when it comes to working with the new employee. This promotes positive attitudes and teamwork and ensures that everyone is treated equally and fairly. Funding is available for awareness training workshops through Job Access, and that is something that Ben and I offer as well. We do access and inclusion workshops for businesses so that if they are going to be employing someone with a disability or impairment, they are made aware of many things that are important to do with people with disability and impairment. So contact Ben if you are wanting one of those. Now, accessibility. Preparing the workplace so that it is accessible will allow the employer to do their job and help with a smooth onboarding process, making sure the person with the disability is involved in the decision making because they know what works best for them. Don't just assume that, hey, they're going to need this, or no, they're not going to need that, because that person is the only person that can answer those questions. So make sure you ask them first, because that's probably not the first time they've been asked that, which I've mentioned in other webinars. Their needs will vary depending on the employee's disability or health condition, and funding is available for modifications if you do have any modifications that you come up against. Other considerations you can consider are changes to rosters, work times and practices, because some people with disability or impairment can have a carer. They could find it hard getting up in the morning so early. So you know, as long as you can be flexible with someone coming into your workplace, maybe at a later time. If they've got a carer, they can't be there at 7 a.m. in the morning. That means getting up at 4 in the morning. Have them start at 9 o'clock or a time that's going to suit them, and then have them work later, or make up their hours another day of the week. You've got to be flexible, and fair enough too, because, you know, people with disability impairment do have other needs, and this is one of them, for people to be more flexible and understanding. Okay, so induction and mentoring is our fourth tip. Your new employee should receive an induction, relevant workplace training, and ongoing support through a designated buddy or mentor, especially in the early stages of their employment, which is very important. So that's just, you know, like any job that you go for, you've always got someone that's there with you when you're on your first day, and for the next couple of weeks. You've got someone there teaching you the ropes of that business, because not every business is the same. It could be a similar job that you've done before, but you've still got to learn the ropes of that particular business. And someone with a disability or impairment needs that just as much as anyone else. So make sure that there's someone available to train and be their little buddy to help them out when they need them. And think about any other adjustments beforehand that may be necessary to make the induction intake process as mutually rewarding as possible. Number 5, last one for the evening, post-placement consultant. If your new employee is connected with a DES provider, they will then have a consultant allocated to provide post-placement support completely free of charge. In addition to supporting the employee, the consultant is also intended as a go-to person if you have any questions or concerns. Use the consultant as a free resource to you and your team to ensure things run as smoothly as possible, especially in the first few months. So I said it before, if there's anything that you've come up against, don't hesitate to contact the DES provider. That is why they are there. They are there to help. They want it to run smoothly for both parties. And if things aren't working out, then contact them first before you do anything, is a strong suggestion I have, because they will know the answers and how best to deal with it. So that is it for tonight. I hope that you enjoyed it. There's so much information in there. My brain feels frazzled after that. So if you did want any more information on DES providers, jump onto the link below the video and go and have a look. But if you were interested in other webinars, check them out on our website and sign up for those. We start up again next week on Tuesday, so we'll be doing tapping in part 3 on Tuesday next week, and then tapping in part 4 on Wednesday, and then 5 on Thursday. Right now I'm going to do the open forum so that anyone that has a question can jump on there and say what they need to say, or ask what they need to ask. But for those of you that have to go, it's dinner time for some people, I will let you go and have your dinner, read some books to your children, and I will see the rest of you soon for questions that are needing to be answered. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I hope that it all made sense and that you've come away thinking, hey, let's do it. Let's get in touch with that DES provider and get ourselves an amazing new employee. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see everyone that is waiting on for questions very shortly. See you soon. Hey, welcome back everyone. There's no questions today, which is totally fine. I hope you all have a good night tonight and a wonderful long weekend when it finally gets to us. Stay safe everyone, look after each other, and I will see you on Tuesday the 2nd of June for Tapping In Part 3. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Have a good night. Bye.